On this episode, we're heading to remote Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula. Now, the spring thaw is unusually early, but we're still going to try and hunt the huge brown bear that dwell there. But our biggest challenge is going to be just surviving the snow machine rides over the snow-capped mountains and through the rivers and soggy valleys in this unforgiving ecosystem. Hold on to your seats. This is going to be one wild ride.
Brought to you by Gunworks, the long-range experience.
The Kamchatka Peninsula is very famous in hunting circles as being the home to some of the biggest brown bears on Earth. It's one of the few places where you have a really good chance at collecting a really, really big brown bear. But as with any hunting situation, big bears are not just standing around hiding behind every tree waiting there for you. You need to spend hour after hour using your binoculars and looking over lots of bears and a ton of terrain just so you can get a glimpse at that special bear that you came all the way to Russia for. Okay, so you want to go brown bear hunting on the Kamchatka Peninsula, right? Here's what you need to do. First, you fly from where you live to Los Angeles. Then you get on another plane from Los Angeles all the way to Moscow. Then you get on a different plane and you fly from Moscow all the way across Russia, all the way over there, all the way to beautiful Petropavlovsk. Now, once you get there, and oh, by the way, you haven't had any rest stops or hotel breaks along the way, that's when you finally load up all your stuff into an SUV and you drive, they said about 4 hours, let's call it 7 or 8 hours, to the little fishing village at the end of the road, where you then start loading all your stuff into a little boat, and then the real adventure begins. Should we be doing the Gilligan's Island song right now? A 1 hour cruise. It was great to finally arrive at our first camp. Guides told us we would stay in these cabins for the night and then leave the next morning for the mountains. But the next day, plans changed.
One thing about big game hunting around the world is that you make plans the day before that, okay, tomorrow we're going to go do this, this, and this. And then you wake up to an unbelievable windstorm. And one thing about bear hunting is bears don't like the wind at all. Although most animals don't like the wind, especially when it's howling like this. And even if they were out and we could see some, it wouldn't matter, because if this wind swirled around, they got our wind, they'd take off. So the guys have decided that we're going to hang out and camp for the day and just wait it out till this horrendous wind finally lays down. You can see back here this lake that's got the river running out of it that we rode up on the boat on is just white capping and blowing like hell. The ice is finally breaking away from it, but just one of those days you just got to hang out.
Eventually, the wind laid down enough that we could finally get across the lake, and we had to even haul one of the snow machines across the lake because one of them had broke down on the other side already. That allowed us to start our hunt, get going, work our way into the mountains, and get to the next cabin where we'd be staying for the rest of our hunt. glassing from up here. What a beautiful spot. We can see forever. At least with the snow machines, we can get down in the general area, which is nice. It's also kind of not a surprise, but to me, with this sun being out like this, we didn't gain that much altitude, and it's gotten a lot colder up here. Not just the wind, but you can tell the difference. The snow's completely different. It's nice. The machines work a lot better. I see some tracks heading down, but both the sets of tracks I see, Jay, coming down off there, they're all coming down to the bottom of that valley and then heading down, you know, kind of down in that area where we were last night.
I see some over there too. They kind of disappear. I wonder if there might be a den on that side hill.
Yeah, they probably came from it, huh?
Yeah.
Because that looks like great denning area up in those hills like that. South facing slope. And yeah, this is such a cool bear area though. I mean, when you think of brown bear terrain,
It's absolutely perfect.
this is it, isn't it?
You get the high elevation where they go to den.
Yeah.
They come up late fall, make their den, and then they started coming out about a week ago or so. You've seen plenty of tracks, but like you said, they're all heading down towards the coast.
Yeah. The thing about glassing though is that you never know if we catch one that's late, you know, coming out of one of these dark spots or something like that.
Or a lot of times the big boars come up here once they're out of their dens, and they'll hunt for the dens of the females. So they dig the cubs out of the den and eat them.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's one of their major food sources in the early spring because there's not a lot of other options for them. So and then when they eat the young cub,
Yeah.
the female will come into estrus quicker because she doesn't have the nursing cubs.
So it's a combo play. Truth be told, this is really an early spring this year, and the snow is thawing way too rapidly. The rivers are rising, and reality is we probably shouldn't even be hunting, since the only transportation and the only way to get around in this desolate area is on a snow machine. And there's a reason why they call them snow machines and not boats, and that's because they work best on frozen water, not flowing water. We've decided to take a more cautious approach because the water is way up, and somehow or other we got to cross this creek to get back to camp. And we haven't been all that cautious at times through the week on what we've been doing with the snow machines. Matter of fact, take a look at some of the fun we've already had this week with the snow machines. But hey, you come all this way, what the hell? Might as well go for it. What else are you gonna do? Turn around and go all the way back empty-handed? Hell no. So kids, don't try this at home, and whatever you do, don't try this with your snow machine. Just saying.
Oh, we have to cross this river, and we had a lot of problems crossing it on the way over, and it's pretty wide. So what we're trying to do is figure out a spot where it's not so deep and not too rocky, so the track on the snowmobile will catch. Because we got caught out in the middle there last time because the track caught up. So here he goes. Oh shit. Here we go.
doubling as a skidoo boat.
Я его не вижу, чтобы вы они туда себе берем в ту сторону. Нет, туда себе берем в ту сторону.
Broke the rope that holds the winch to the snow machine. And it started. Life just got a little bit better than it was an hour ago. Yes. Conditions were tough, and it was a real gear test just surviving each day. But at least we had a nice warm cabin to come back to at night, and we could dry our stuff out. The guides weren't exactly Tom Douglas in the kitchen, but hey, it was better than freeze-dried food, in spite of itself, I think. Living the dream right here in the cabin. The guys have whipped up it's kind of a stroganoff looking thing, I'm thinking. We got no interpreter on this lake, so we're having combo. It's not bear meat, I know that.
I think it's horse meat.
Is it canned or something?
Yeah.
This is like the Russian Iron Chef right here. Ouch. It's hot.
Chili.
Mm-hmm. I'll eat right there. Here we are on the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia, chasing after those huge brown bears that are found here. And I've got my brand new Gunworks in 375. Look at this rifle, the dangerous game model. They're calling it the Skull. Look at this, it's got a brown bear skull etched in the barrel. What a work of art. The action is as smooth as you can get. It's like butter. Got a little bit of engraving on here with a beautiful Cape Buffalo skull. I can't wait to try this thing out on something big and mean, which is what it's built for. We've topped it off with a Zeiss Conquest V6, so we got the perfect optics with the perfect gun. Now we just gotta find the perfect brown bear. There is no way you could ride back here without this tarp covering you. It's a little wet. We're all the way on the very top of this mountain, and we finally saw a bear. We've seen quite a few different tracks, but we saw this track just right here as we came over the crest, and then this little bear. He's only like a 7-footer, young male. That's cool though. I don't know if he just came out of his den or what he'd be doing way up high here, because there's really nothing to eat. But he might be cruising, you know, looking for sows or cubs or who knows. This is all virgin country up here for tracks. So if you see a track in here, it's going to be fresh because the wind is blowing, so it covers them up real good. It's nice to be able to glass these big, vast areas, though, kind of like sheep hunting, where if you see something at a distance, then you can do the sneaky sneak on it. youngster. What a good sign. We're seeing bear sign. That's probably like the 7th or 8th track we've seen, but this one is today for sure. And like this afternoon, but not worth following. It's just not that big. Not for the kind of bears we expect here in the Kamchatka Peninsula, home of monster brown bear. It's an incredible place to hunt. It's really a treat too to get to come to a place like this. This is one of those bucket list places as a hunter that you always want to come to. You know, the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia, big brown bears. This is awesome. Riding back in the evening, I get thinking about all the sign that we've seen through the last few days. We've seen quite a few bears, but finding a really good one takes patience. I mean, it takes lots and lots of patience. You know, as the sun sets on another day, I have to admit, I can't wait to see what wild surprises wait for us tomorrow.
How much you?
8.
8 inches?
8 inches.
8 inches?
Yeah. You think? Bigger than that?
It's a good bear.
Yeah.
It's one. And bear equal people. Big size food. No big bear. Always.
Not always.
No always. Because people 2 meters and size food 8.44. Understand me?
Yeah.
Bear equal people.
Same.
This bear good bear.
Yeah. There's a bear right there. Hey. Hey. Psst. Psst. Hey. That's a good bear. He walks right. He's coming. Get him. Get him. What a beautiful bear. They're saying he's 8 to 9 foot. Great hide. He's right here at 70 yards. Hey, psst, what do you think? Look at the size of this bear. He's done. Hey! Jay, come here.
Man, nice shot, Alan.
Look at this thing.
Woo!
After,
Awesome bear.
look at that thing, huh?
Oh, look at the coda.
What a hide.
Oh my God. This thing's great.
That was so weird.
Perfect.
How when we saw him down on the creek and he was walking along there, I couldn't get a shot through those trees. And then when he came down below, we thought we had him. And then he came back up onto this plateau. I figured we lost him.
Well, he was on the move. Wow, look at the head on him.
What a monster.
This is
huh?
a great bear. Oh yeah. That's a, oh yeah, look at that. Look at the noggin on that. He's got a big head. he's bigger than I thought he was.
Look at
His
that.
head is big. I can barely lift it.
Look at that thing.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's got a nice.
You come all the way to Russia, to the Kamchatka Peninsula. Jay, I can't thank you enough for putting this trip together for us. I mean, another Lynx Wild Safari's wild safari if there ever
Definitely
was one.
wild. Hard getting here too. Hard hunting, but beautiful bear. Look at the paws on him.
Massive bear.
Big old claws. It's got an absolutely perfect hide.
Thanks to the guys at Gunworks for putting that 375 together. Just hammered him. I mean, talk about bear medicine.
That took him down.
The first kill with the new Gunworks rifle.
Awesome.
What a way to start out the new Blackie. We're calling it Blackie, the new
Absolutely
375.
awesome.
Takes down a monster ruin.
There you go.
It really has been a wild adventure. But now it's time to start that long, miserable journey back home. But at least I'll be traveling happy on the return leg, knowing we were successful on one of the most grueling hunts I've ever been on. I mean, hey, we don't call it rugged expeditions for nothing.